Welcome to this video. This video is about uh, the lost global advanced civilization. That is like a neural network, and it's also like a global Atlantis-like organization. What I mean with that is that you could call it Atlantis, um, when you respect that it's something global and it's not some restricted area like the Azores or Richat in Africa or Doggerland in Europe or whatever. It's a plain global and around the globe, literally around the globe organization. Uh, Around the globe because it involves all continents and the ocean gyres connect all these continents. You'll see that in a picture. For instance, it's this is Eurasia, Europe, Western Europe, Siberia, Alaska, and to the east of North America, of course, you have Europe again. Crossing the Atlantic, you reach Europe, and this is connected by gyres, currents and gyres. For instance, this is Haplogroup R. It's a recent haplogroup. This part of the haplogroup, which is the world without the Americas, is only 5,000, roughly 5,000 years ago. This quite recent. Everything except the Americas, which is older because in the Americas you have the root, and the root is prehistoric, at least 20,000 years. In some way, you see this around the globe. You see that in the younger Dryas field, um, and in the Australasian impact field. They are supposed to be connected with a meteorite impact. This one roughly 30,000 years ago. But in fact, this is activities of this lost civilization. It's related to their metallurgy, and this the slacks of this massive metallurgy activities are interpreted as meteorites because, for consensus, they didn't have metallurgy at that time, and even not 30,000 years ago. That is according to consensus. We will give evidence that this is a field, a boundary, related to massive metallurgy activities. This is same. This is much older than the younger Dryas boundary or field. Uh, so it's around the globe, Eurasia, Africa, the Americas, and across the Atlantic is around the globe. You see the gyres between the Americas and Eurasia and Australia. You have this gyre, South Pacific gyre, and this gyre, the North Pacific gyre. Between the Americas and Africa and Europe, you have the North Atlantic gyre and you have the South Atlantic gyre. So everything is connected. To the start, lost global advanced civilization, like a neural network that could be called like an American but extended Atlantis-like organization or economy. So it's not restricted, crossing oceans, handling megafauna, hybridizations are not some independent actions. They are key of a more complex but economy, organization, world, but composed of autonomous neural-like elements. The conquestors um, had their eye on the Americas for much longer than the official version. Uh, they they went there supposedly kind of lost, looking for India from the other side. They knew quite well what the Americans were, and they understood this global advanced civilization, and they could not handle it. So breaking it would be key. It took them over 100 years. In fact, it took them 129 years to start breaking it, or to start breaking the Amazon uh, organization, which was key. Uh, those who know our videos know that we are clear about the ancestral markers, and even haplogroups point out that the Americas are the origin of all 8 billion modern humans. So uh, officially, the Americas were discovered in 1492. The first European explorer to descend the Amazon River was Francisco de Orellano in 1541, 50 years after the discovery, not after Orellano, after the discovery. It's 50 years because before there was a quick descent to was unexpected by the Amerinds, and they're not expected for a descent. So he could make it, or he was the first to make it. Maybe there were others before, and maybe they were uh, killed or they succumbed. A year later, supposedly Orellano, it's written wrong, Orellano, Francisco de Orellano, could not travel to do the Amazon once again, and supposedly could not find back the Amazon, which is ridiculous because you see the Amazon when you are navigating uh, from the Amazon Mount to between French Guiana and Suriname. You have a plume that is visible even on satellite photos. So you cannot not find the Amazon River. So that was for him not to say that they didn't manage to pass without being killed. So they would need to find other means uh, to enter and conquer the Amazon River, which is thousands of kilometers long. You have more or less an idea about what a plume is. This is the plume as well. It's much bigger than French Guiana and Suriname and the Guianas together, and it's even visible on. And here it gets deflected. It gets hundreds of kilometers wide. So this is the Amazon River, and from here on the currents take it this way, and um, a plume will travel together with the currents. So what we are trying to say is that uh, The Europeans, the explorers, were quite aware that they would have to break that global economy to enter with their economy to start their, let's say, empires. Initially the Spanish and the Portuguese, but later English, etc. The city of Belem, which is only at the mouth of a several thousand kilometer long river system. It's not a river. It's as big as Europe, the Amazon basin, roughly as big as Europe or as continental United States. So the city of Belem, only at the mouth here, 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 somewhere below, was only established in 1621, that is 129 years after the discovery of the Americas. So that's the time it took the Europeans to break that global economy, which probably breaking the Amazon forest region was the last to break, at least in South and Central America. This is mitochondrial haplogroup M, and it shows that the reality is different than out of Africa, because you see that there is things, the spread of mitochondrial haplogroup M is independent of Africa. Uh, it's one of the oldest migrations, and while there is certainly an approach from South America through the north of Eurasia, especially Siberia, but also Japan, China, Yangtze River, Seoul, Sundaland, and through the South Pacific Gyre, finally to Madagascar and East Africa. So this is haplogroup R. It's a recent haplogroup, and the root is here. The root is R1, prehistoric, still present in a very high frequency of above 60%. 60%. It's between 60 and 100% in several Native American tribes. This before Columbus and until today. And it gives rise to the descendants. This is the parent, the root, cradle, the parent, and these are all children, descendants. So the root is R1, and the children are R1b, R1a, R1b, R1a, R1b. And this could very well be the root of this root, but that's for later. That's for possibly for the next review.